I love your name. I got to tell you that right now. I just think there's melody to it. There's poetry. There's just something just very special about your name. And I'm glad that you've grown into it and put it out here for us.
Likewise, actually. I love yours as well.
Wow, we're partners then. You have got to be going crazy with what's going on in the financial world right now. We are entering an age that wasn't supposed to happen again, at least not this soon.
Yeah, I had an old boss who always used to say, there's the ancient Chinese curse that says, may you live in interesting times. And I got to say, we are living in interesting times.
Ooh, I agree with you on that, because it's like I want to sit down with my parents. I want to say, no, you guys were a great generation, but I think we're a greater generation. But because of you guys, because you guys went through it too, but we're stronger because of what you went through.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it really highlights the fact that no matter how much we think we can predict the world, that stuff is always going to melt down. There's always going to be bumps. There's always going to be shocks. And in the good times, remember that there's bad times around the corner.
Yeah. The podcast is titled Weird Finance. You kind of say we're all weird at what we do because we're not doing the same thing on what we should be doing when it comes to our finances.
Absolutely. Not just that. Money is such an emotionally charged topic. And once we let our emotions run the ship, if we, first of all, don't address them, there's so many times where we're shooting from the hip and we think we're making rational decisions, but we're making emotional decisions. And I really just want to shine a light on that and let people know, hey, there's a lot of us who seem to have it together. I have a finance degree and even I screw up sometimes. Have a little bit of grace. Get a little less weird about money, and let's all share what we're going through.
I have to put on the instrumental chill music, do a little bit of meditation before I even go in to pay my bills. I don't know what it is about my life where I just really go through bad moments when it's paying bills. And it's not that I can't do it. It's just I go through it emotionally.
Totally. I mean, A+ gold star arrow, because what you're doing is you're regulating your nervous system. You're calming yourself down so that you're not freaking out. And I don't know if you intellectually understood or, do that in other areas of your life, but that is actually what I recommend everyone do. If they are triggered by money, if they are uncomfortable about, talking to their boss about a raise or negotiating with a credit card company about an interest rate, the best thing you can do is know where you're at. Are you amped up and do you need to calm down? Or are you just kind of numb and you need to amp yourself up?
We are in an age right now, especially on this day after situation. iHeartRadio reaches all over this country, and I know there's going to be people from Google that lost their job through an email yesterday that are going to seek help. They don't know where to go, and I think that your podcast is a brilliant first step.
Absolutely. It is a tough time out there for folks, but remember that, everything will pass and that this is just a moment. And for me, and I can't say that this is going to be true for everybody, but for me, I've been let go from a few jobs. Yeah. And the last job that I was let go from was actually the best thing to have ever happened to me, because it forced me to really evaluate what I was doing in the world, how I wanted to show up, what I wanted to create, who I wanted to be, and how I wanted to leave it all on the dance floor. And that's why I started the Hell Yeah group. That's why I started writing about money. And it's really taken me, here I am talking to you, Arrow. It's been a wonderful journey. You
bring up a very interesting point, because the first 26 years of my radio career, I overdid everything because I feared being fired. And when it finally happened in my career, 26 years into it, it was like, well, what was I worried about? But I'm not getting those 26 years back.
Right. Absolutely. Hindsight is 20/20 though, right?
Isn't that the truth? But I've learned though that when, you get together, you create for a moment, and when it breaks up, it's just another stripe on your arm. And it's like, okay, I earned that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Everything can be a lesson. It could be a data gathering opportunity. Everything is valuable for whatever you take out of it, really.
How do you feel when people think that they are the financial expert? Everybody it's like an armchair quarterback, and you're very real and honest on this podcast that kind of just says, you're probably good at what you do, but yeah, let's kind of tweak it up a bit.
I just try to not let my ego drive the car. Yeah. And I think with a lot of these financial folks, not all of them, of course, but there's a good amount of them where, it's about image, it's about ego, it's about seeming really smart. And I'm not going to lie, when I first got my first job, not my first job, but when I was working as a financial planner, I was working in a fancy building in the financial district with a marble in the lobbies. And I thought I was I thought I was, hot stuff. I thought, okay, yeah, people are going to really recognize that I'm a smart individual. And it wasn't until I learned how to kind of drop that and let that kind of melt away. And I let this deep desire to just wanting to help people, right? Life has its amount of suffering for everyone, no matter who you are. And I just want to do my little part, my little role in helping somebody just take a sliver of that suffering away. The minute I approached finances from that perspective, the whole world opened up for me. And, my work really just took off.
We are all getting ready for the tax season. A lot of people make a lot of mistakes, or they try to run free of it. And you can tell that it's happening because you can see the television commercials. They're all talking about, if you're late on your taxes, if you haven't paid your taxes, that means somebody's not doing it. I mean, they've got to do their share.
Right. Yeah. If you're worried about taxes, I would say take a page from Arrow's book and do what you need to do to calm yourself, right? Or to hype yourself up, to really make yourself put your body and your mind into the right state so that you can sit down and tackle it. And honestly, that is one trick that if all of society knew how to do that, like that little hack, the world would honestly be a better place, because you'd be applying it to your financial life, but you'd probably be applying it to, okay, I'm going to be sitting in traffic for an hour, or I'm going to be on an airplane or have to go to the airport. I'm going to be in this situation where things are going to be irritating and maybe it's not always going to go my way. But if I could take a moment and calm myself, then I can tackle this in a effective way. And that's exactly how we should tackle our taxes.
You talk about having a tax coach. Well, I'm totally with you on that, because my tax man has been a coach for all these years, and he'll let me know that's a red flag. Do not even think you're going to get away with something like that. But he gives me the confidence and the courage to make sure that I'm doing it correctly.
Absolutely. The U.S. tax code is about 75,000 pages long, and every year it changes, right? Because we have lobbyists who are, trying to shape the tax code, or they're trying to influence lawmakers to change the tax code in their favor. So it's constantly changing. It's like an ocean that never stops moving. And unless your job is to be a tax expert, I would 100% recommend that you outsource that job. It's going to be money well spent for sure.
One of the things that brings a lot of fear to me are these people that do their own stock market purchasing. Shouldn't that be left to the professionals? Because I truly believe in the stock market, because I've got a lot in there. And but like my financial guy tells me, he says, go sit down. Let me do my job. I'll talk with you if we have a problem.
I could not agree with you more, Arrow. I mean, you pun intended, your stock is rising in my eyes. Yeah, we've lived through something really interesting over the last few years, right? When the market was roaring, everybody had a YouTube channel and was saying, here's how I'm doing well. But for me, what I saw was, in a high tide, all boats rise. And we're starting to see the carnage and the wreckage now that the market is a little bit more volatile. Of course, there are going to be some people who they jump out of bed and they're like, I want to look at these gnarly charts and I want to try, and if you're that person and that's what you want to do, okay, go for it. And, be as responsible as you can. Don't gamble with money or, take risks with money that you can't afford to lose. But for the great majority of people, we can just invest our money in something called an index fund or an ETF. Believe me, it's boring, but that's exactly how investing should be. It shouldn't be thrilling. It shouldn't be exciting. It should be bland and boring and something we just do regularly.
Wow, I could talk to you all day. Please come back to this show anytime in the future.
That sounds great, Arrow.
Be brilliant today, okay?
Likewise. Take care now.